The thing I'm going to go through today is the realization that multiple 7-figure and multiple 8-figure e-commerce brands realize and how they're able to get to those levels as well. So I'm going to go through exactly what that is. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Will De Bruin. I co-founded an e-commerce business in 2013 with my brother. We left our corporate jobs. We started a cold pressed juice cleansing company from our kitchen bench, and that has now gone on to do multiple 7 figures per year. And I've also helped over 200 e-commerce brands hit record revenue months through my paid communities, the Ecom Blueprint and Uplevel Mastermind as well. So what I want to go through is, again, just this realization of how we think as entrepreneurs, as e-commerce brands. And the concept is this: no one knows who you are. As soon as you realize this, it creates a sense of almost relief when it comes to any paranoia or anxiety around the marketing. Let's call it the frequency of our marketing. I'll use this as an example of, like, say, sending emails. So a really big thing that I realized when e-commerce brands come into our paid community, the Ecom Blueprint, and we advise them to send emails, X amount of emails over this amount of time, and immediately their defenses go up and say, no, that's too many. It's too high frequency. My audience will get annoyed. They're going to unsubscribe. They're going to hate me. They're going to, it goes down this rabbit hole of how they feel about their brand and not wanting to, say, annoy people or piss people off. All right. And it's logical and it makes sense. I've actually been there plenty of times myself, but this is why I want to share these lessons with you so that you don't have to learn the hard way. How big businesses think, how, again, the multiple 7 figures, multiple 8-figure brands, big billion-dollar corporations think is that nobody knows about me and everybody wants to know about me. Okay. So if you can understand that and adopt that and run with that, that will pay serious dividends to how fast and far you progress, because it's not about us. It's not about how we feel. It's actually about serving our customers and serving as many of them as we possibly can and being in front of them as many times as frequently as possible, right? The one who earns the attention, gains the attention, buys the attention is going to win in this game of business. People are served hundreds of ads every single day. They receive hundreds of emails every single day. So if you think that you are annoying someone by sending one little ad to their, their Facebook feed, one little email into their inbox, you're mistaken. Okay. You have to assume that no one knows who you are. No one knows what you're offering. And with that, everyone wants to know. Okay. So with the realization, that's like, okay, I need to be in more place. I need to work harder. I need to do higher frequency of every form of marketing that I'm currently doing or need to do more of. And then it's like everyone wants to know. They're all interested in what I'm actually doing. So again, when it comes to your frequency, we need to increase what that looks like. Whether it's your marketing triangle, meaning your organic content, you can't do enough organic content. Whether it's your paid ads, you can't send enough paid ads. Obviously, there's profitability and things we need to speak about there. That's our SOS ads formula that we talk about there. And then with our email databases, it's about you can't actually send too many emails. It's literally impossible, all right? To progress. As long as you've obviously got a database that's actually growing, then that's when it's only obviously going to pay dividends. If your database is stagnant or shrinking, it's going to be detrimental, of course. Right? So what does that mean? It means we need to force ourselves to continue to grow our database so we can continue to send correspondence. So the first realization is that no one knows about us. The second thing is people want to know about us. And so what that actually means is you need to use your communication and your channels as if people are seeing you for the first time, as if they're seeing your offer for the first time, as if you're introducing yourself to them for the first time. Of course, there's going to be people in those networks that do know who you are. They do know some offers. They do know what this is going on. But honestly, you'd be surprised at how underwhelming it is that a little amount of people know exactly what is going on with your brand. And it's not their fault. It's actually our fault, right? The saddest scenario is that they don't know who you are and what you're doing, and you still think that you're hassling them too much or giving them too much information. It's just, we have to put our egos aside. Honestly, we have to humble ourselves. Even at that 7-figure, 8-figure level, brands are even going harder and double time on this because they are building their networks faster and faster and faster via all their marketing means. They are able to double time and triple time and quadruple time their communications and their marketing. So this is really forming the basis of how often we should send emails, how often we should post, how much money we should spend on ads, and especially like retargeting, for example, which means, if someone's seen you, they've been to your site, they're going to get hit with an ad, that's retargeting. And so that has a metric called frequency, which is how often they see your ads in a given week, for example. Okay. And so my advice to e-com entrepreneurs and people in our communities, we want as high a frequency as we can possibly get with all of these things. We want no one to not know what is going on with your business. because it's literally impossible. It would be impossible to get everybody's attention all the time about what you're doing. So coming back to the original principle, no one knows who you are. Everyone wants to know who you are and what you're doing. And that is, in my opinion, the advantage of us with that realization. All right. If people did know who we were and what we were doing, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. All right. We'd probably be making more sales. But the point is that we can be really consistent. I would go as far as using the word as like mundane and repetitive with our marketing message, who we are, what we do, what we're offering. And that provides focus, in my opinion. When Sam and I started Karmic, the cold pressed juice company, our message was less than 5% fructose in every juice, every cleanse. That means that all the juices, all the cleanse programs had no fruits basically, and it was less than 5% fructose, which is fruit sugar, let's call it. And that was our point of difference. For about 2 years, we had just one cleanse program. At the beginning, it had 2 juices in it. And then we added a lemon juice in the morning and then an almond milk at the end. So we had 4 juices for a little while, but still it was one program, one product. And so what did that provide for us? It provided massive focus about what we're actually pushing and promoting. And this wasn't a realization of us at the time. Trust me on that. We were just naive and young and having a go. But in hindsight, it provided massive focus about who we were, what we were doing, who we were talking to, and what we're actually promoting. We didn't have a choice. And so we took the attitude every single day and the excitement and enthusiasm through our correspondence that people didn't know who we were and they wanted to know who we were and what we were offering. And so that has paid huge dividends for us. And of course, especially in those early stages, like I'm talking the under 30K a month, but also, as I say, up to the multiple millions per year, you need to take this on board. You need to take it on board. And as I say, big corporations, multi 7-figure, multi 8-figure brands, this is what they do and how they think. High correspondence. No one knows who you are. Everyone wants to know who you are. So take that, run with it. If you're afraid, if you're thinking that, you are communicating too much or marketing too hard, it's literally impossible. So just take those shackles off. In fact, I would look at the opportunities where you can market more across other channels, other platforms, increase cadence on those existing platforms and see what happens over a 3 to 4 to 6 month period. What it will do is increase sales, I have no doubt. But secondly, it will actually force you to say, okay, well, yeah, my results are stagnating. I need to then go build up my database, right? I need to do things that will build my database quicker. So you're actually putting it back against the wall, like forcing yourself, increase your sphere of influence, market harder. Versus I'll just wait for things to tick over. I'll wait for my database to get this, and then I'll send an email once a month and hopefully they respond, oh no, it didn't do well again. This is what happens with people. You're not putting yourself under enough pressure or really understanding how it actually works. The faster you can build your sphere of influence, the more enthusiasm you can have, and the assumptions that no one knows who you are and everyone wants to know who you are will create the environment for you to really exponentially grow and create, again, that focus on what am I doing day to day? It's building databases and or increasing your sphere of influence and creating offers, telling people about what we do, telling people about our stuff to really simplify it. So I guess communicate that message to you, just really help you understand the difference between those on this side doing multiple millions and those side doing, not even 100 grand a year. There's not that much in between you and them, but there's a couple of really fundamental mindset shifts of how they think. These people over here doing multiple millions understand that no one knows who they are and they want to know. There's people over here who are struggling and stagnated, who are paranoid and anxious about sending too much correspondence when it's just not true. It's just you getting in the way of yourself. All right. So hopefully that's been helpful to have that realization, as I say, from real world experience and experiencing that with our clients in the community as well, and discussions that we have all the time. So I just wanted to share that knowledge with you. So look, if you like this video, please give it a like, please give me a subscribe. I'm creating videos like this all the time around e-commerce and getting to that next level and scaling. If you want to know more about what we do and how we help e-commerce businesses, there's a link below. You can click on that. We can have a chat if it seems right for you. But regardless, really appreciate you watching till the end. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you in the next video.